Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this time it's gonna be about my match of Warriors of the Dark Gods against Saurian Ancients at the Oefendag in February. I'm still playing the same list, so it's my Chosen Lord on the Wasteland Dragon, triple Chosen with Sloth, double Helmals, and basically that is the list more or less. My opponent has Saurian Ancients this time, with mostly a Carnosaur build, so he has a Tag Veteran on a Carnosaur with a Supernatural Dexterity on the Halberd. Then he has basically a core setup with some Cayman Warriors, and the Raptor Pack are quite a funny choice here, I think. Don't see that often. Then he has Raptor Riders that the Carnosaurs can go into, which is quite funky, making them fearless. Maybe Frenzied and giving them battle focus or something like that. And he has some supporting pterodons. These champions with Enclave Wizards in these units are quite neat because they're quite mobile and they're quite difficult to catch. So deployment. This game, I am gonna apologize because I don't have that many pictures of this game. Once again, we play the scenario where we have to keep 6 inches from the side during deployment, and when you drop your first unit, you have to say if you want to drop everything or if you don't. And we played, I think, again, breaking flags. So basically, you want to go into the deployment of the opponent, and you want. No, we didn't. We played these tokens that you put on the table, and then it scores the same as hold the ground. So every single turn after the first, you score a point for every token you have the most scoring units near. And then basically at the end of the game, you just see whoever scored the most, and that person gets the objective. Anyway, deployment. So I was saying that I don't have that many pictures of this battle, so we'll go for deployment. Turn 1-ish, I believe, and then turn 5 or something. But I will just do a lot of chatting, and we'll get through this together. So for me, left to right, I have my Helmor, I have my Chosen with the Wasteland Torch, the forest has been turned into a ruins. I have my Dragon on the hill, just for that juicy reroll. I have Chosen with Great Weapons, Barbarians with Icon of the Infinite, and Wizard. Bright Warriors, Helmor, Chosen with Halberds, and a unit of Barbarians. My opponent left to right, Skinks with scoring, Taggy Mystics without scoring, Raptor Pack, Stygiosaur, Tyrus Scooters. Um, it's really like a quiz of like, do you know the names for these units? Pterodons, Sentries, Cayman Warriors, Raptor Riders with Carnosaur, Alpha Carnosaur, Raptor Riders with Carnosaur, Skink Hunters, Pterodon, Sentries actually, not Riders, Sentries, with Enclave Wizard as well. Yes, so deployment. So once again I do have to put down these tokens. Funny thing is, we first put down the objective tokens, and then I get to put down my first 2 portals. And when I go through a portal, first thing that happens with a unit is that they lose scoring, and then at the end of the phase they regain scoring. So in a turn where I teleport a unit to, let's say here, I would drop any tokens that I have because of having scoring, if I have picked up something, but at the end of the turn I do gain back my scoring, and then I can score the objective. Provided that it's not turn 4 or later, because then you place them using special ambush, and special ambush says that if it happens at turn 4 or later, you lose scoring for the rest of the game. Yeah, so we put down the objectives. I put the right one down because I was like, okay, I don't want to put it in center because then I have this impossible on this side, impossible on this side. So if I put it on the center, my opponent will put it on either of these sides, and then he will just push, and I will be able to push less efficiently because of these impossible terrain pieces. My opponent could have put it here in the center. He could also put it here all the way on the flank, which is also a viable technique. Because it is, I was like, it's going to be quite tough for me if you put all your scoring here to just get enough units there. I think he dropped for first turn, but I'm not sure. Let's see. I think he did he. I think yeah, he did drop for first turn. I'm quite certain, quite certain. So he dropped for first turn, then so he's put one scoring down there. Then I could counter by just putting my scoring over here. I'm basically planning to make use of the portal to negate the scoring. Um, And I also, yeah, he did drop because I still made a comment. We talk about this also during the practice days of like, why would you do this? Would you have better than something else? Do you still want to change? And we talked about this, and I was like, well, usually for these type of scenarios, I actually do prefer to go second because you can just counter the amount of scoring the enemy has and just sneak away um, with some scoring points, especially against stuff like a Banner of the Relentless Company. Then the opponent can score surprisingly well in a situation where you don't expect them to score. Anyway, that's a lot of talk for the deployment. Um, so this unit is just gonna go advance up. Well, basically, my turn one has been planned out at this point already. Like the Helmor is gonna threaten here to charge these kings, so they have to take a terror test when I charge because they're only discipline 6, even though they have cold blooded. Then, and in combat, I think I do eventually win the grind against these kings. Then the Wasteland Torch unit is gonna go in front of the ruins because anyway, I want to evenly disperse my chosen. The dragon is gonna go here so that I stay away a little bit from the multiple wound stuff. I thought the Carnos also had multiple wounds against the dragon. Turns out it's only the Alpha Carnosaur, but still quite scary. The chosen here with great weapons are in a spot where agility doesn't really matter too much. So I was like, or at least that's usually my thought. Why did I put it? Oh, I need to put the great weapon once anywhere as well. I just put them there. Then we have the basically magic spot in the center. The bright warriors. I wanted to use them to stall this flank mostly. And it's also why one unit that is immune to the multiple wound stuff of my opponent on this side, because the chosen they suffer quite a lot from multiple wounds from the Carnosaurs if they get the strike on them, and then a unit of chosen with halberds. So this is then going to be my turn one. So my opponent didn't really move that much here on the left side. He could have moved a bit more maybe. But the Pterodon sentries, they are ready to go over and harass me in places where I don't want to be harassed. I don't know why he angled this Kaimon warriors like this, but that's a bit of a mystery to me. Here, this is the same setup basically as here, which is okay. Like in my turn, well, this is my move, so you can see what I did. I have my Helmor here on the right side that put a new portal down over here on the left, and this one put a new portal here behind the Kaimon warriors. So this one is quite clearly useful to just teleport something behind his lines and then just go in. Dragon, meanwhile, I was considering either going to the left or to the right. I was quite happy that my opponent allowed me to do an 18-inch move, because I have 18-inch march on that dragon ground movement, because it's a warrior's dragon, and then stay out of line of sight. But then even with 14 I would have been able to go here basically. It's quite an uncontested model in this matchup, so I want to make most of it basically. But then the question is, do you want to go left or do you want to go right? And even, do I need to stay out of line of sight of these guys? I think generally turn one I want to stay out of line of sight of these guys. Because they can still be quite a threat, even though they only have strength 5, so they win me on 6s. because Sloth is just completely unfair. But it's 18 attacks, hitting on 4s, it's 9 hits, winning on 6s is 1 win. Probably some magic, so probably 2 wins. If I get a Word of Iron on, then maybe 1 win. That's not too bad, actually. I was mostly afraid of this stuff because I thought it all did multiple wins to me. Turns out it doesn't, so that does also change the matchup quite considerably. Anyway, I was talking about how I moved up. So this portal I put here because I was expecting my opponent to fly over and try to be annoying with this stuff. And then I can teleport the barbarians that are here on the right side. I can teleport them over here, throw my throwing weapons against this unit, and hopefully cause at least a panic check that you might miss. And then continue from there. This is later in the game, so I can walk you through a little bit what happened. So unit-wise, this is this unit that I was talking about that teleported or that flew over, and then my barbarians were over here, and then we cuddled a bit and stuff, and yeah, eventually my barbarians they went away again through a portal, and then yeah, it was mildly effective to throwing weapons against these guys. It's 30 shots hitting on 6s, so that would be like 5 hits. Then you wound on 3, so it's 3 wounds, and then he has a 4-up save. So you do like a wound and a half. Can be enough for a panic check, but not necessarily. So it was less effective than I hoped. Otherwise, the left flank, I obliterated it by teleporting the great weapon chosen over there and just going through. The middle, so I had this unit with the Wasteland Torch here and I moved up aggressively. My opponent didn't really do anything about them, and I just went through some units over there. The dragon was really... So the dragon charged the skinks, they made their test, and then the dragon rolled a 3 for its charge. So he had a field charge, and then the next turn he could only turn around by that point, because actually the Helmor solved his problem the turn after by just charging in, and then the skinks they failed their tower test. So then my opponent's scoring on that flank was gone, which is quite nice with the Helmors, that you're so flexible in where you get your scoring at what point. It's doesn't really feel fair, to be honest. Yeah, so at that point, yeah, as you can see, the Caimans, they just walk around a bit. The Raptors, one unit went into my Pride Warriors that I had moved up till here, more or less, so till here, with the Relentless Company banner. And then I had put it in such a way that the Carnosaur unit and the Alpha Carnosaur would both be in the front, which was very nice. And then I forgot about the fact that the other Carnosaur could just go into the flank. So yeah, I think that the big Carnosaur and one of the small ones with the unit I could maybe handle with the Pride guys, but probably not. Like, if he does a max of 9 wounds, I'm going to be steadfast. 9 wounds is kind of iffy though, because especially because of the Thunderstorm as well. Because the unit has parry. If I get a big Word of Iron on, then 9 wounds might still be okay, because I would do a 1 of armor save, so AP3 gets me a 4 of armor save. So basically he has to do 18 wounds before saves to get me to not be steadfast then, if I remove 2 models of the cap. So I was expecting to stick there if these 2 units go in with a boosted Word of Iron. If he doesn't give me Word of Iron, but basically this is the moment in the game where I'm not afraid to throw 5 dice with my wizards. People can be caught off guard by that. But basically, list design wise, I spent 315 points 315 points on my magic phase. That is my entire magic phase. My army itself is not relying on magic. It's nice to cast a Silver Spike once in a while, mostly on targets that I could get down with 2 Silver Spikes, because then my opponent wants to dispel it. The rest is just throwing all of my dice at either Word of Iron or Glory of Gold and sneaking in a Rod of Battle. And that is fine. That's just a fine magic phase for 300 points. But it also makes that I'm not really concerned about throwing away my mage, because, well, I don't really care. So yeah, one Obama safe block over there could be quite nice. I didn't see my opponent's flanking maneuver, and then the unit got mopped up. He reformed. I don't know if it's this turn or turn after, but he ends up being there. The Alpha Carnosaur goes over there, and the other Carnosaur goes over there. Later, my opponent thought that this was actually the bad move on his part of the game. Don't know. He charged in with the Raptor Riders onto my Chosen, and he was like, yeah, this is going to be the make or break. I have to do enough damage to go through, and if I don't, I'm going to lose my unit. So it would have made sense to at least get one of these guys still there, looking at the Chosen, just to make sure that he could mop them up. But then again, this dragon is also just looming against the fearless unit. So yeah, the rest of the game is mostly going to be that these Chosen up here, they're going to just chase the Dagu Mystics, and in the end, multiple times charging, fail all the charges so they don't even catch up. These Chosen, they still swing around and they don't really do that much. The dragon still mops up this unit now, then reforms to look this way. Then at some point this guy goes into the Chosen, he dies, and the last turn, or one of the last turns of the game, I still cast a Hellfire with the bound barbarians on this guy. I do a wound. I had some throwing weapons that didn't do a wound, a Silver Spike that did a wound, and then a shoot of my dragon, because in the end he did manage to charge my dragon. I stand a shot and I also did a wound. So in the end he had 2 wounds on his model. And then we go to combat. I strike first with my Chosen Lord. I hit him on 2s and I wound him on 3s with a reroll, and I do 4 wounds. And the model just dies before it can strike. Like, otherwise my Chosen Lord would have been in a pickle because the Carnosaur might kill me. It's like 5 attacks, I think. 5 attacks, 4+ to hit with a reroll with battle focus, so that's 6 hits. And then 4+ to wound with multiple wounds too. That's 6 wounds. So on average he would just kill me with the Carnosaur alone. I think the rider doesn't do that much. And also if he does a wound, it's just 1 wound. But it's basically his only answer against this dragon. Yeah, so in the end, the Pterodon sentries, they survive. All of this is going to be dead. The Kaiman warriors, I charged them in 2 different directions, and they also went away. I did score the objective over the course of the game. And then at the end of the game, you look at what you have lost, and, well, all the Chosen are still there. The Dragon's still there. Barbarians, this unit died eventually. And the Helmo is also gone. So I lost the Helmo and I lost the unit of Barbarians. Which made it a 19-1, because I still didn't have some points somewhere. I think I lost 1 unit of Chosen in the end. But anyway, it was a 19-1. We had a great game, and yeah, I'm really happy with my list. Yeah, waiting for an update where everything's going to be way more expensive. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then next time.